Hi everyone! It's been a long time since I posted something on here, but one of my goals this year is to start posting again on my YouTube channel and to build up my social media presence. I don't have the same software that I had before. For this, I'm specifically using CapCut, but I wanted to give this a try anyways. For now, I may do uploads 3 times a month, maybe less, maybe more, we'll see. I would ideally like to do uploads once a week, but we're gonna see if I can do that. I just need a much lower barrier to entry to start because I am very busy and I don't want to add another big thing on my plate, basically. But for those who don't know, my name is Mason. I go by he, him pronouns. I am a freelance illustrator and the creator of the supernatural horror webcomic Beneath the Woods. I used to post fairly regularly on here between 2017 and 2019. My most popular speed paint was Camp Speed Paint with Max. But I mainly drew fan art at that point. But now I mainly do original stuff with my webcomic because it's my silly little hyperfixation. Ha ha ha. But now I'm back and I've got some cool stuff to share. But before we do that, the thing I'm drawing on this video is the illustration I did for my 10K Draw This in Your Style challenge on Instagram. I reached 10K in about, I think, September or October last year, and I wanted to do a Draw This in Your Style challenge with my OC, Richard. He is the main antagonist of my webcomic, and he can bend reality to his whims. It's kind of like Wanda from WandaVision. That was my main inspiration for his powers. But he's also a very sad old man who has serious fears about losing control, which is why he tries to control everyone. Yay, we love him. He's the worst. For this piece specifically, I wanted to draw something that hinted at his goal for the comic and his story overall. I can't actually explain what's going on here without going into giant spoilers, but I will say it's inspired by religious artwork, specifically with him having the halo around his head as well as the rays coming off of the planet. He sees himself as a god, so this having religious undertones fits his character. So, in terms of an update, what have I been up to basically since I posted last? I started releasing my webcomic in 2019, which has consumed my every waking moment, which is both in a stressful way, but also in a very strong adoration way. I've burnt out so many times working on this comic, but I feel like I finally got into a rhythm with working on pages, and I'm able to work on them consistently without burning myself out most of the time. That being said, I don't see my comic fully as a project and will work on smaller things for it, for funsies, and count them as a break, which is not great. Don't be like me. Don't be a workaholic. But regardless, I really, really love my comic. I love the characters. I love the story that I'm telling, and I'm excited to share more about it. It finally finished its first chapter last year after so many delays. And I've been working on this since 2019, and it took me 4 years to finish the first chapter. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm trying to work on my speed. But a lot of the stuff for why it took me forever was kind of outside of my control. Anyway, I've also started developing a sequel for it because somehow, in my mind, the sequel is a fun little side project while the comic itself is the actual work. But I've made some really cool stuff and stuff that I'm super happy with over the past few years in regards to this comic. And I'm just really excited to share more of the story and the characters to the point where I'm just kind of itching to post spoilers on Instagram. It's terrible. I'm sorry that I'm like this. But, I'm trying to think of what to talk about next because I have a script that I'm trying to read off of and I haven't really done that before, so but there were a couple personal reasons why it's taken me forever to work on this comic. Big changes in my life. I moved a couple of times and then this is a bummer topic, but my mom died. This is going to get incredibly personal, but losing my mom was my biggest fear for all of my life. And then it happened, and I was okay. And a lot of that has bled over into the actual story. Like, Max's mom is, I guess, a caricature? I don't know if that's the word I want, but like a caricature of my mom. She has a lot of the same qualities as my mom. The conversation Max and his mom have in the car at the beginning of the story is mirrored off of conversations I had with my mom about my anxiety in the car and like the concerns she's had. Along with that, like, there are a couple characters in the comic that struggle with grief, and now that I have an understanding of what it's like to like lose someone that you care about so much and how grief affects you, that's helped inform me on how to like write certain characters and how certain plot points play out. It's not great, but it's been a really good outlet for me dealing with my grief, because it was so fucking heavy and awful, and it took me like over a year just to feel okay. But working on this comic and writing the characters dealing with grief has been really helpful for like figuring out how to process it. And I know this is a big heavy topic, I'm sorry, but I feel like it's important to talk about because I've been away for so long, and this has been a big part of my life in the past 5 years. But yeah, sorry, this is a bummer topic. But writing this story has been like just a giant outlet for me dealing with emotions and things that I've been through, and it's been really helpful. So now that I'm done with that big, heavy personal topic, my goals for my YouTube right now, I want to keep this chill. Like, I may be posting this video without having other ones prepared, but I just want to start getting the ball rolling. Because of my work schedule and working on my comic and all that stuff, I won't have a ton of time to commit to YouTube. But yeah, I just want to get started. I've been putting off certain projects and things because I've been waiting for the moment where I'd be ready for like this to start. But I want to work on this year, and I'm trying to just jump into things even if I don't feel ready. Over the past year, I've gotten inspired by channels like Sketches of Shay, Gel Arts, The Starfish Face, Kelsey Rodriguez, and ABD Illustrates. Since I've made videos in the past, it feels a little easier to start, but I'm going to be doing commentaries on each video. And I'll also be making some videos going over how I make comics and everything. I want these videos to be like a draw with me kind of thing. I want them to feel super chill and cozy, so it's like we're hanging out together and drawing and just talking about stuff. I really love videos like those. Those are very motivating for me to start drawing, and I usually turn them on at the start of my drawing session. So yeah, it's really nice. So along with that, I have some art goals this year. The big one that I want to do this year is to become a full-time artist. I specifically want to be an author, illustrator, and publish books, but I also want to dabble in freelance illustration and building up my social media presence, which I've been working on for a couple months. I feel like I've been spinning my wheels on this goal for a couple years now, but I really want to make this happen this year, and I feel like I can. But in order to reach these goals, I have to overcome a few not great mindsets. I struggle very badly with imposter syndrome, perfectionism, and a big old fear of rejection. For example, perfectionism has held me back for a while with my comic and my art. I felt like I couldn't post anything online unless it was 100% perfect, even if it was just a sketch. But I've been working really hard on this since the start of the year, and while it's not perfect, I'm doing a lot better with this. I keep telling myself done, not perfect, every time I fixate harshly on the details of my comic or an illustration. I want to focus on creating more things, even if they're not my best work. On the other hand, imposter syndrome is one I'm really struggling with right now. I do have a lot of confidence in my art. I've worked really hard to get to the skill level that I'm at, and I'm very proud of what I've achieved by making my art. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm really happy with the things that I've created. But working on other aspects of my comic project, like writing, voice acting, making music, because I'm doing that too. Those are all things that are a lot harder for me to accept that I'm good at, and I get really frustrated easily when, like, it's not going well right off the bat. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, I feel like a fraud a lot of the time, especially with my writing, even though I've been doing it as long as I've been drawing. But this is something that I want to work on this year because I know how much it holds me back. On that note, do you guys want me to make a video talking more about my experiences with these things, like especially imposter syndrome? I feel like other artists can relate, so I'd love to talk about it. Speaking of future videos, I will say I'm mainly going to be doing speed paints alone right now with commentaries over them. These kinds of videos are super motivating for me when I'm having a hard time with starting to draw, so hopefully these can be motivating for you guys as well. However, I do want to go over webcomic and art tips, as well as my process for creating my webcomic. If you guys would like me to talk about something specific, let me know in the comments. I also will be doing a Q&A video at some point, but specifically taking questions from my Instagram. I'll try to share this story on my community tab when I post it, but otherwise, I definitely recommend following me on Instagram for when I post it. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you enjoyed it, definitely subscribe because I will be making more videos like this in the future. Make sure to do all the silly YouTube stuff like punch the bell and whatnot. You can also support my work on Patreon. I'm going to be starting a sticker club next month on there, so if you want to get early access to my videos or my comic or get cute little stickers of my characters in the mail, check out the link in the description for my Patreon. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!